What's up, carnivore or would-be carnivore? Colin here. 90 days, or maybe I'm at 120, into a carnivore diet. What are some things that they don't tell you? I'm gonna tell you right now. Yesterday, I probably lost 4 hours of productivity after breaking my fast with some not so great food. We went to Five Guys. I got 5 patties with some cheese and onions. I did get some fries because Allison wanted some. She then got gluten-free pizza from Mod Pizza, and I ate more of that than I should. It knocked me out. I was tired, I was cranky, I couldn't work, and I had to get home. I had work to do. The drive home, my back started hurting. This is something that I still don't know if I'm gonna be able to handle, and I don't know if I'm gonna have the flexibility to cheat or to eat out as much. And so that's something that is still remaining to be seen. I almost ruined an entire day because of one meal. When you go super clean, and let's assume you don't have any autoimmune issues where it completely ruins you in that way. This was more of just a gut thing, a digestive thing. It made me tired, it made me cranky, it made me lethargic, and I couldn't focus. That was from one meal. And it was even kind of a relatively clean meal. It was gluten-free pizza. It was Five Guy burgers. Grain-fed patties, fried in peanut oil or something. Not great, sure. But at the same time, it's not like I went to McDonald's and ate a Big Mac with burger, fries, and soda. It was still somewhat closer to the clean end of the spectrum, and it still destroyed me. Maybe you don't want to have the flexibility to eat out sometimes with friends and family. That's going to be up to you. For me, this is kind of a pro, it's kind of a con, because I do like to eat out from time to time, or if I'm traveling, or if I just want to straight eat some junk food, I'm going to do that from time to time. I don't like being super dogmatic about it. But what I found is, through this 120 days doing a carnivore diet, anytime I've eaten out this way, which is a few times, I've felt it pretty aggressively. There was a time where I had regular pizza and it didn't really agree with me, but I bounced back a couple hours later. And then the first time I did this, after I was carnivore for about 60 days, I had pizza one day and I felt fine. Then the next day I had Chinese food, which had some sushi, and it was kind of a low quality place with all you can eat sushi. So they're probably putting gluten in everything and sauces, and everything is cross-contaminated. It was such a stressor to my immune system that I literally got a cold after eating the pizza the one day and then eating the Chinese food the next day, which was basically sushi. So going carnivore and going super strict might make you more susceptible to when these crap foods slip into your diet. And depending on how often you eat out or travel or coworkers or whatever, it might be something you want to consider. 2, it's harder to eat out and it's way more expensive. So I have plans to visit Europe and Asia and South America and all these places that I want to go in my lifetime. And there's going to be a wide mix of restaurants and sometimes probably not ideal food sourcing situations. So if every time I go out to try to eat or if I'm just out and about and I want to eat something and not have to go all the way home, there is this consideration I have to make where it seems like, at least in Austin, most of the places that I can eat at are $50 a plate steakhouses. I don't want to only be able to eat $50 steaks every time I'm out and about and want a quick meal. You could plan for this. You could prepare ahead. You could cook your meals in advance. You could take a lunch. You could just come home and eat and fast. So this isn't a huge sticking point, but it is something to consider depending on what your life looks like right now. You can only eat so many double meat only Chipotle bowls before you go insane. At least that's how I feel. Now, a friend of mine, Carnivore Kirk, which you can actually find him on YouTube, he does other carnivore videos. He told me when he was on the podcast recently, the Ancestral Mind podcast, that after about 90 to 120 days of being strict carnivore, he can have a bite of cake or have some kind of cheat slip in here and there, and it doesn't seem to ruin his day or life like it does for me. So I'm hoping after I'm maybe 6 months carnivore, my microbiome is set. It is what it is. I've been consistent. I got a consistent sleep schedule, workout schedule. Everything is dialed in. I'm hoping then when these foods slip in, if I do have something slip in or I do make a choice to cheat, that my body will be so bulletproof and so robust that it'll just bounce back right away. You'll think differently. You'll start thinking differently about all the food dogma you see, about the nutrition articles, about people promoting fruits and vegetables are the best thing, and how people are talking about being only vegan or plant-based or whatever. It'll change your mind. You will start even getting irritated by that kind of stuff, and you may or may not voice your opinion. And depending on how aggressive your family is or your social circle with trying to make comments about what you're doing or try to change your mind or whatever, you might struggle in this regard. So it really depends on your personality, if you're kind of a natural leader in your social circle, in your family circle, or if you're more someone that takes criticism from around you and that doesn't really internalize it very well or deal with it very well. This is something that you do want to consider. So you might want to find ways to mitigate this and maybe figure out a strategy of how you're going to deal with it. Maybe just shrug your shoulders, move on, and basically let those comments that are going to come your way just roll off your back. 4, going out is going to be less enticing. And if you're already a homebody, this could be a good thing, could be a bad thing. It just depends on whether you are productive when you're at home or you're a lazy POS. Most of us like to get out of the house. We like to have a reason, whether it's running errands or whatever. And a lot of times food is an integral part of that. And so if you don't have good restaurants around you, or you only have $50 a steak restaurants around you where you can get something clean that agrees with you, this is going to keep you more at home, or at least keep you making your meals and prepping your meals at home. And this could be a completely fine thing. I mean, people prep meals and they bring them with them all the time, and that works for a lot of people. I'm more of a cook it and eat it type of guy, and not as much as a reheat or leftovers or eating cold food type of guy. So for me, it's eating most of my meals at home, which can make going out less enticing. I still have a routine where I leave and I work from a coffee shop each day or outside, and then I'll just basically wait until I get home to break my fast, and that works for me. The schedule is completely fine, and it really doesn't cause any issues. I actually prefer it this way because it saves time and money. But if that isn't your situation, or if you have to leave for your work or travel for your work, whatever, this is something you're going to want to figure out a strategy for. And this last one, I don't have a lot of experience on, and maybe you can offer your comments below. If you do drink alcohol or beer or anything like that, what has doing a carnivore diet done in that regard? Is it harder? Do you feel worse when you drink? Do you not have to drink as much? So maybe it's good in that way. Has it helped you quit drinking? I don't have advice here because I don't drink, and I stopped drinking years ago, but I do suspect that if you're going to do carnivore or doing carnivore and you're trying to balance drinking alcohol with this, you're going to run into some problems. I just don't know what those problems are. Keep that in mind. It's just something you might want to consider. And if you can use it to quit alcohol, I think you should, because I think alcohol is a pretty dangerous drug, to be honest, and it's overused. And the fact that it's so commonly accepted is kind of asinine and ridiculous. But because so many people do drink, whether that is just a glass of wine or a couple of beers a day or whatever it is, you do want to keep that in mind. So these are some of the things I've experienced on a carnivore diet that I didn't really think about going into it. So there's going to be some things that I didn't mention here that you're probably going to have to deal with or that you've experienced, as well as some things that I haven't even experienced yet. And so I'll do follow-up videos on that for sure. But drop a comment below about some things that I'm missing out that you didn't really expect or that nobody really told you going into a carnivore diet. And I'll see you in the next one. Hey, Colin here. Thanks for watching that video. I got a free PDF for you, The 7 Principles of Living Wild. Short and sweet, not long, not gonna be a novel you have to read or anything, just a simple reference of the things that make you a healthy human. So click on the button below, get that right now, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.